Journey. Hello there and welcome once again on Sign Language. It is Nakakoni Elizabeth and I am Edward Rukidi. Kijanangoma, let's get started. Now, Nambole has been a beehive of activities as preparations were in high gear for the NRM Delegates Conference 2020. Ivan Kahwa was at the stadium and now reports.
The National Resistance Movement Delegates Conference 2020 will be taking place at Mandela National Stadium in Kampala. And of course I can say that all is set for the day as all the tents have been erected and the entire place has been lit up. We are expecting over 15,000 delegates to attend this conference, and of course the NRM party chairperson, who is also the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has invited political heads from various walks of life. Of course we shall see delegates coming from the countries of Kenya, China, Sierra Leone, and among various countries, and of course inviting those members who are under the Inter-Party Organization for Dialogue. And of course this is the party that brings together various political parties in Uganda. Tomorrow is when the resolutions that were got from the Central Executive Committee meeting and the National Executive Committee meeting will be put forth before the delegates. However, on the other hand, we are also more likely to expect some of the artists who have been fronting the NRM agenda, and these include Bebe Cool, Catherine Kusasira, Full Figure, Professor Big Eye, King Michael, and many more. Of course, this is a conference where the National Resistance Movement sells in the idea of how and where they want this country to go forth. Of course, reminding you that NRM is the center of politics since it holds the number of MPs who are more compared to other political parties. Ivan Kawa is my name, and I'm reporting at Nambole National Stadium.
Thanks, Kahwa, and of course UBC TV will be live tomorrow to bring everything that will happen at the NRM Delegates Conference. Now, the Ministry of Internal Affairs says it is working with Nita, Uganda, to fully operationalize the online passport application system. Now, this comes after complaints were raised by many Ugandans finding difficulties applying online, according to Johnson Namanya, the Commissioner, Citizenship and Passports and Citizen Control at the Ministry of Internal Affairs. Now, this is being worked on. He also advised Ugandans to renew their passports in time to avoid future inconveniences, as we hear in this report.
What we are not in control is the cyber, the space. What we are in control is our own particular website, which is www.passports.go.ug for passports only. But if you want, for example, other immigration services like visas, then you will use www.visas.go.ug. But we are aware, we are in touch with Nita to solve that problem, so that we optimize the system to ensure that when you want any immigration service, then what comes first is the clear website, not the fake one. But in case of any queries, then it is better you drop in, you ask if you are Ugandan, if you are here. Very soon we shall have a call center to answer all these queries. But in the meantime, all Ugandans should renew their passports, because this has a deadline which is not in our control. It is a decision of the Summit of East African Community countries, and the deadline is January 2021, 15th. So if you wait, you will find that there are lines that will go longer because of the batching up, because everybody has been waiting. But the earlier you come, the better.
Those are the queries they're being answered in as far as applying online for Ugandan passports are concerned. Now, 6 Simbok suspects have appeared before Buganda Road Court Magistrate Grade 1 Stella Marisa Mavidis and charged with electronic fraud and computer misuse. Uganda Communications Commission accuses Kagulira Abraham, Musazi Dennis, Benji Maxi, Lubega Ezra, Kavuma Ben and Mutiaba Edward of electronic fraud, abetment and unauthorized use of computer services. 5 pleaded guilty, 1 denied the offense, and 1, Mutiaba Edward, was convicted, waiting for sentencing on the 27th of January 2020.
Buganda Road Court has charged 6 Kagulile Ibrahim, Musaz Dennis, Benji Maxi, Lubega Ezra, Kavuma Ben and Mutiaba Edward of electronic fraud, abatement of unauthorized use of computer services and operating telecommunication apparatus without a license. The offense was allegedly committed between the months of June 2019 to January 2020, causing financial loss to telecommunication companies and to the government.
Lost approximately 76 million, caused the government of Uganda to lose approximately 44.8 million shillings, which would have been earned as tax on international calls.
Appearing before the Buganda Road Court, Grade 1 Magistrate Stella Maris Amabilizi, 4 pleaded guilty of the offences, and the 1, Lubega Ezra, denied the offences.
2019 and January 2020, within the Kampala district, he operated a telecommunications apparatus to wit a GSMA gateway machine, also known as a SIM box machine, audio tape.
In the same court, before Magistrate Marion Mangeni, the 1, Mutiaba Edward, was convicted of electronic fraud and abatement of unauthorized use of computer services, waiting for sentence determination on 27th January 2020.
Understood the facts. Are the facts true?
During the mitigation process, Mutiaba Edward prayed for a fine rather than a custodian imprisonment.
But let this court give this young father of 2 kids and the wife, say the wife is in court, another chance. Let him pay a fine rather than custodial.
Abdusalam Waiswa persuaded the court for a tough punishment against the accused, whose occasions might have endangered lives.
Offences are not ordinary offences. They are economical in nature, but they also have a social bearing. The only way they can get SIM cards is by dealing with thieves, robbers, who snatch people's phones and use those SIM cards in their SIM cards, in their SIM box machines.
The accused were reportedly using GSMA gateway machine, known as a SIM box machine, without a license, converting international calls into local ones, leading to loss of revenue in terms of taxes and to the telecom companies in terms of money charged on international calls. Abdul Nasser Lubwama and Lydia Chomukama for UBC News.
Thanks, Lydia and Abdul Nasir Lubwama, for that story there. Now, almost on a daily basis, we witness a number of soldiers who have grown in ranks due to commitment to serve diligently. But did you know that some of the generals we see were actually trained by commandos who are still energetic today? Iman Kaha interacted with General Eli Tumine's trainer, who joined the NRA to fight Idi Amin's regime.
Mukasa Yahaya is among many who joined the National Resistance Army in 1974 after being frustrated by Idi Amin Dada's regime. At the age of 14, retired Sergeant Yahaya, by then a student at Mbale SS in 1972, lost 2 of his friends who had turned a threat to Amin soldiers.
And I had my friend who was called Tom Namirundu and Masaba. So when Amin saw this boy becoming sharp, he thought that he's supporting who? Museveni. The man picked those boys and took them to the firing squad. After putting them to the firing squad, they started to look at me.
This pushed him to join the National Resistance Army in order to avenge his friend's death.
That is how I joined the army, because Amin killed my friends.
Yahaya, a former soldier in Fronasa, here dressed in all yellow attire, with a brand on his left side shirt reading Kagera War 1979, boasts of having trained commandos. This is the man who trained renowned four-star General Eli Tumwine, Uganda's current security minister. General Tumwine is believed to have shot the first bullet that sparked fire exchange at Kabamba. Retired Sergeant Yahaya recalls this trajectory.
So when he was trying to go to the Amra, guards, those who were on the Amra, they wanted to shoot them because the vehicle passed through. The vehicle didn't stop the quarter guard. When they didn't stop the quarter guard, and those people, they knew that, oh, this will be the rebel, and he told them that we have brought for you food. So the food was a bullet immediately. So that is when he started to fire, because he knew that if he doesn't fire him, he's going to be killed. And in the army, there is some word we use that Muwai Kabiraju Ajakuwai. It means shoot him faster unless him to shoot you.
Yahaya does not take his contribution to NRA victory lightly, as he believes it was worth the struggle.
So for me, I was the instructor who just remove you the civilian life to put you into military military life. So I was important more than that one who is on the front, because you cannot have a gun, or you cannot know how to shoot a gun without training. So someone who trains you that the gun you handle like this and you shoot like this, you can fix the bullets like this, so that one is the important person.
In part 2 of this NRA struggle, join me, Ivan Kahwa, as I tell a yet interesting story where President Museveni narrowly survived death as his bodyguard was put out of action while preparing to have a meal in Ibirembo.
After the escort was shot and fell on the roots of the tree, the bullets swept him away. When the escort died, the president entered the huge tree. It was a big tree that could be engulfed by about 3 people. God had created a big hole in it, and that's how the president entered Uganda. When he entered the tree, there were bullets of big guns, fired, not small guns. And this was in a range of about 7 kilometers from a place called Irejogoro, Busimba.
Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Ivan, for that report there. And of course, do not dare miss that other second part where Akawa will be telling us how the current president, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, survived death narrowly. We'll now take a short break, but we'll be returning with much more. Do stay with us.
That's my little angel Rose. Together with millions of other children, my daughter Rose is assured of learning something new every day. Moses, my husband, just like many other commercial farmers, has his business supported so he can provide for us. When my other little one was on the way, even with my pregnancy complications, it was a quick, smooth ride to Mulago Specialized Women and Neonatal Hospital. Also, my new baby was able to make it through his first days with the help of specialized equipment thanks to the reliable electricity which has also been extended throughout the country. All this and more has been made possible because of you.
Join us and together let's do more for our country. Get your free tin at www.ura.go.ug.
Thank you for paying your taxes.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together. Welcome to the Equal Opportunities Commission, an independent statutory body that works towards ensuring that all forms of discrimination, marginalization, and unfair treatment are eliminated. The Equal Opportunities Commission has power of court and can enforce its decisions. It is established and supported by the government of Uganda. It also garners support from development partners, civil society, the private sector, faith-based and cultural organizations. Visit the Equal Opportunities Commission today, the home of equal opportunities for all, or call us on our toll-free line 0800 100 440. This message is brought to you by the Equal Opportunities Commission with support from the United Nations Human Rights Office.
Dial *185*6#, follow the prompts and make instant school fees payments. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Hi, I'm DJ Drogba. On average, almost 250,000 people die on the road in Africa each year. As a proud African, this breaks my heart knowing that so many deaths could have been avoided. So when you're on the road, follow these safe steps and help save lives. Multitasking whilst driving is dangerous. Never take your eyes or attention off the road. Keep both hands on the steering wheel at all times. Don't eat or drink. Leave your mobile phone alone. Keep the music down. And stay focused. So when you're on the road, follow these safe steps and help save lives. We all have a role to play in road safety. Together, let's make Africa's road safer.
Operation Wealth Creation is coordinating all government ministries, departments and agencies to unveil unique investment opportunities in every region of Uganda to local and international investors to transform subsistence farmers into the money economy. Operation Wealth Creation presents the Rwenzori Investment Expo, scheduled for the 30th to 31st of January 2020 at Mountains of the Moon University, Fort Portal City. Theme: Investment for Local Economic Development. This expo is one of the many regional investment expos anchored on agro-industrialization for local economic development, agri-led program, and will be held countrywide. Come explore investment opportunities in the Rwenzori region, from mining, tourism, agriculture, and many more. The guest of honor will be His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda. For more information, contact National Organizing Committee.
Welcome back from that short break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. A warm welcome to those of you just joining us, and on sign language it is Elizabeth Nakakoni and I am Edward Rukiti Kijanangoma. Let's talk business now, and Africa is on a steady social and economic path and is expected to be home of the 7 out of 10 fastest growing economies in the world between 2020 and 2030. However, according to the latest Foresight Africa 2020-2030 report, various obstacles linger on the continent's economic path to progress. Dennis Tigoa gives us more.
African scholars.
Foresight Africa Top Priorities for the African Continent 2020-2030 focuses on the priorities of the continent for the next decade. Africa Growth Initiative at Brookings and the Economic Policy Research Center at Makerere University explain explores the trends and features diverse expert viewpoints.
Africa's perennial problem, as was alluded to earlier, is the fact that the saving rates are very low. And the saving rates are low in part because the demographic transition itself is very slow. And it's slow because fertility rates are still high. So those who do work need to spend a lot taking care of children.
In the current decade, Foresight report predicts the continent will continue being the home to 7 of the world's 10 fastest growing economies. However, for steady economic growth to be achieved, deepening governance in the continent is paramount.
When I was Minister of Finance, I remember in 2006, we had debt forgiveness, and we started back to zero, no debt. I did not know that in my lifetime I was going to see Uganda again getting in such a very serious debt.
Job creation and skills development, improving health and education, and climate change are also cited among the continent's top priorities.
The focus of this report on the SDGs is a testament to the level of importance that research institutions accord to this development framework and the opportunities that they bring to African nations. I would like to highlight that this report focuses also on a very critical issue: the role of building strong institutions and ensuring good governance.
Experts argue that job creation has not caught up with the growing youth labor force, gaps in good and inclusive governance remain, and climate change as well as state fragility threatens to reverse the hard-fought for gains of the past decades. Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
The ministers from East Africa and the Horn of Africa have agreed on new labor harmonizing policies in the region. This was revealed by the Minister of Gender, Labor and Social Development, Frank Tumwebaze, at the Uganda Media Center. Tumwebaze says the ministerial forum also agreed on setting up labor attaché offices in the Gulf and European countries, which receive most of the exported labor from Africa.
The ministerial forum on harmonizing labor migration policies in East Africa and Horn of Africa that I attended in Nairobi from the 20th to the 21st of January 2020. This meeting attracted all ministers of labor and social development of those countries of our region. It was hosted by the government of Kenya and facilitated and supported by the International Organization for Migration, for which we are very grateful. Objectives of the forum were: number one, to discuss a harmonized regional strategy on negotiation of bilateral labor agreements with the EU and the Gulf cooperation countries, among other countries of migration where our people go. The other objective of the Ministers' Forum was to share information on the trends, priorities, needs, and interests of member states in order to foster safe and orderly labor mobility within Africa, and to enhance the knowledge and skills of government stakeholders on the establishment of effective mechanisms of preparing migrant workers for employment abroad, and to discuss strategies of promoting and protecting the rights of African migrant workers abroad, to strengthen regional cooperation on labor migration policies, to cooperate in strengthening the capacity of labor migration management institutions. And finally, the other objective was to promote regional cooperation in combating trafficking in humans or persons.
Sports news now, and we begin with chess, where Security Minister General Eli Tumwine has lauded initiative by Dove's Chess Academy and Focus Youth Forum of organizing the inaugural NRM Liberation Day Chess Tournament. The theme of the tournament is developing leadership capacity through sports. Junpan Sentamu reports.
For the first time in a while, Ugandans will enjoy the 34th National Resistance Movement Liberation Day with a chess tournament. It has been launched by Security Minister General Eli Tumwine, who is the patron of Focus Youth Forum, under which organizers Dove's Chess Academy are an affiliate.
I must thank the organizers of this tournament
celebrate the heroes of our revolution. We feel very, very encouraged, and I think you deserve a very big clap. That you not only organized the independence tournament, but you have now organized the NRM victory celebrations tournament to celebrate with us in style. Our whole purpose of struggling and sacrificing, our whole purpose of offering our lives was that we would create a new, better generation. And we are very, very proud. We are very, very proud that we now have a wonderful, new, educated, encouraged, healthy generation of Ugandans. 34 years of raising up a new generation has been an interesting task for us.
The tournament due this Saturday at Nob View Hotel in Ntinda will attract more than 200 players in various age categories like 8, 10, 12, 16, 18 and 21.
On the question of going into schools and training, that's the way to go. I always tell you of the three things: value, and sharing. Anything is a thing, everything is a thing, and everything has its own unique value. But that value is worthless, is useless if it is not shared.
Dove's Chess Academy Director Christine Namaganda promises quality by the players at the 6 rounds tournament to be played on the Swiss format, with 25 minutes allowed per round. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Golf now, and over 70 children have finished their golf clinic at Entebbe Golf Club. As the golfing fraternity looks up to skilling young golfers, Lady President Eva Magara says the focus is to introduce golf to young scholars in a bid to nurture talent at a tender age.
We registered 27 schools, and this year our target is to register 50 schools. And that campaign, I want it to go even up country. To have it as a game that is continuously growing, just like any other game, if it's basketball, football, it's inclusive of every age.
Tough game, but I was able to get through it with God's grace, and it's a good game. I played well. It was very good. We've been training so much for this tournament, and our captain is none other than Tamara, who we all support and all love. One was playing fantastically. I was a runner-up. It was really interesting and fun. I tried my best.
Young golfers there, and of course that's where the future of golf in Uganda is all hinged. Now let's have a look at the weather prospects for tomorrow with Sharon Nakajiri.
From Uganda National Meteorological Authority, we are still experiencing dry, hazy conditions across most parts of Uganda, especially in the northern parts of the country, because we are having dry, dusty winds from the northern parts of the continent towards our country, Uganda. Tomorrow morning, we are forecasting sunny intervals along Lake Victoria. That includes our capital city, Kampala, while in the north, we shall have bright and sunny conditions. Temperatures are expected to rise up to 32 degrees Celsius in Gulu and Kitgum, while in Kampala, temperatures will raise up to 29 degrees Celsius. For Kabale Highlands, we are forecasting 25 degrees Celsius. For international weather forecast, we are forecasting cloudy conditions in Doha. As for Johannesburg, we shall have thunder showers. Temperatures will rise up to 32 degrees Celsius in Mombasa. As for Doha, we are forecasting 22 degrees Celsius. That brings me nicely to the end of this weather report. Till tomorrow, have a good night.
Thanks, Sharon, and good night to you too. Now let's have a look at our top stories. Stories: NRM National Executive Council doses lining up for primaries. 6 charged over electronic fraud. Bad news for the region as locusts ravage Horn of Africa. And in sports, Dove's Chess Academy hosts Liberation Tourney. That brings us to the end of News Tonight, but remember that our next bulletin comes your way at 10 p.m. Do not go away, because that is when we'll be returning. Thank you so much for having kept us company. See you then.